Hi, I'm Laurel Moe, and this presentation is the Catholic Church and the Civil War. Topics that we will cover will be the religious landscape of antebellum America, the antebellum conditions that influenced the American Catholic Church to decline involvement in the politics of the Civil War, the actions taken by individual American Catholic bishops and members on both sides of the conflict, and the impact that those actions had on the acceptance of Catholicism in post-Civil War America. Religion was a component ideologies of the Union and the Confederacy, as the Second Great Awakening influenced Protestant revival throughout America with regional distinctions. Protestants in the northern states adopted a doctrine of perfectibility and believed that people should refrain from sin so that they could attain godlike perfections since they were made in God's image. For northern Protestants, this meant social reforms of various institutions, including slavery and abolition. Revival for Southern Protestants included personal commitment to faith and an orthodox worldview that social reforms regarding issues such as slavery sinfully disrespected God's will. While both sides of the Civil War were predominantly Protestant, who read and understood the same scriptures, each became convinced that God favored their opposing positions regarding slavery and abolition. "I can fight your battles so long as you make the Constitution your fortress," wrote Governor William L. Marcy of New York to antebellum Southern politician John C. Calhoun. "But if you go to the Bible or make it a question of ethics, you must not expect me or any respectable member of the free states to be with you." Governor Marcy did not grasp that the Southern worldview regarding slavery was built on a Protestant biblical defense based on the Old Testament that years later would imbue the Confederacy with moral justification for the continuation of slavery and the secession from the Union. The majority faith of antebellum America was Protestant, as only some 10% of the population was Catholic. Accordingly, members of the Catholic Church understood that they were a minority in a country that was predominantly Protestant. There was also a fair amount of prejudice towards Catholics in antebellum America, with the prevalence of anti-Catholic sentiment by nativist Protestants. Though the American Catholic population was growing due to the large number of Irish and German Catholic immigrants, their social and political influence was negligible due to their minority status. A large influx of immigrants arriving in America in the 1840s and 1850s caused a surge of Protestant nativism to take hold, especially against Catholics, as many of the Irish immigrants were Catholic. The assertiveness of the Catholic Church and the assumption that Catholic priests were supportive of the Democratic Party led to Protestant nativist violence toward Catholics. While Protestant nativist violence was initially an exhibition of anti-immigrant sentiment, as immigration declined in the mid-1850s, Protestant nativist violence became more focused on members of the Catholic Church. Pope Gregory XVI published an apostolic letter in Supremo Apostolatus in 1839, in which the Vatican condemned the slavery trade. However, there were some differences in interpretation by American Catholic bishops regarding whether the condemnation included the institution of slavery itself. Consequently, the Catholic leadership in the Vatican followed the practice of political avoidance and did not formally make a statement regarding slavery or the secession of the southern states. Accordingly, only minimal guidance associated with the morality of slavery was provided by Propaganda Fide, the Vatican congregation responsible for oversight of the American Catholic Church. In the absence of specific guidance from the leadership, American Catholic bishops simply followed their individual loyalties to North or South and the corresponding ideologies. The leadership of the American Catholic Church was not optimistic about the future of the country. Many of the bishops and priests predicted a bleak future for the country and believed that the dysfunction of the Protestants was the cause of disunity amongst the states. The American Catholic leadership viewed the election of Lincoln as a victory for Northern evangelicalism, secession to be the result of fanatic Southern Protestants, and the Civil War to be the outcome of religious disunity on a national basis. Many of the leaders of the American Catholic Church believed that the involvement of religion with politics had led to antebellum anti-Catholic, abolitionist, and the secessionist movements, and consequently advocated the abstention of clergy from all political activities. Therefore, antebellum American Catholic councils followed the Vatican's position and declared that they would not become involved in the politics of the Civil War. The Catholic Clergy and the State of the Country was a pastoral letter written to the clergy and laity of the diocese by the Third Provisional Council of the Cincinnati. The letter was signed by 8 bishops and published in the Baltimore Sun on May 13, 1861. The purpose of the letter was to declare that the American Catholic Church would not enter into the politics of the Civil War, as discussed in this excerpt from the letter. The spirit of the Catholic Church is eminently conservative, and while her ministers feel a deep and abiding interest in all that concerns the welfare of the country, they do not think it their province to enter into the political arena. The letter was also an official statement that the American Catholic Church had no intentions of dividing itself along regional boundaries and ideologies as stated in the letter. Thus, while many of the sects have divided into hostile parties on an exciting political issue, the Catholic Church has carefully preserved a unity of spirit in the bond of peace, literally knowing no north, no south, no east, and no west. The Catholic Church did not believe in the possibility of secession until the Civil War broke out, and thought it inconceivable that the North would invade the South and that Americans would actually kill other Americans. In the absence of specific guidance from their leadership, American Catholic bishops simply followed their individual loyalties to North or South and the corresponding ideologies. Some of the Catholic bishops and priests chose to align themselves with regional politics in order to avoid any suspicions of disloyalty within their majority Protestant communities. Some of the Southern Catholic bishops were also slaveholders and had a vested interest in sustaining slavery. Catholic bishops supported troop enlistments and flew the flags of either side to which they were regionally aligned with. The American Catholic leadership viewed the onset of the Civil War as a chance for Catholics to show how patriotic they could be to either side and hopefully establish Catholicism in American religion. Thus, the American Catholic leadership exhorted those Catholics who chose to become militarily involved in the Civil War to fight with courage for whichever side they chose, therefore showing that Catholicism was a legitimate and loyal American faith. It was estimated that 7%, or 200,000 of the 2.75 million soldiers in the Civil War of both sides were Catholic. Since there are more sacraments involved in the Catholic faith than in Protestant denominations, and as many of the sacraments require Catholic priests, both armies of the North and South found themselves in need of chaplains who could minister to their Catholic soldiers. This would involve a total of 3,694 men on both sides of the conflict who served as Catholic chaplains, including 80 priests. It was also estimated that over 700 Catholic nuns from different congregations in the northern and southern states served as nurses during the Civil War. Joel Tyler Headley made the following statement regarding Catholic chaplains during the Civil War in his 1864 book, The Chaplains and Clergy of the Revolution. It is a curious fact that in our first struggle for liberty, and on all the wars that the great republic has waged, even till now, the North is struggling against a monstrous rebellion. Roman Catholic chaplains have sent up their prayers side by side with Protestant ones. Though so far apart in every other enterprise, they have presented the anomalous spectacle of working together to support free institutions. The selfless service of Catholic priests acting in the capacity as chaplains has been viewed as one of the most important contributions that the American Catholic Church made to 19th century American society, due to their selflessness and duty that often arose above ideological and religious beliefs. The behavior and service under fire by Catholic chaplains on both sides of the Civil War was acknowledged by Protestants on both sides of the conflict. Catholic nuns also gained the respect of Protestants for their nursing of soldiers of all faiths and sides in a compassionate and dignified manner. The presence of the Catholic chaplains and nurses in the hospitals and battlefields brought Catholicism into the public view of mainstream America and out of a world perceived to be secretive and mystical. While the actions of the Catholic chaplains and nurses gave many Protestants a favorable view of Catholicism that would be the foundation for the acceptance of Catholicism in subsequent years, American Catholics would be persecuted until early in the 20th century by organizations such as the Ku Klux Klan.